Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and to the Advanced Cartoon Character Rigging course in 3ds Max. In this tutorial, we will create an eye rig that supports the head squash and stretch and set up LookAt controls, adding a convenient follow switch. So let's start with the basics, creating the bones. Switch to the left viewport and activate Snap's toggle. Then in the Bone Tools panel, create a bone strictly along the grid so it's perfectly straight. Now, align the bone to the eye geometry using the Shift-A shortcut. Note that the pivot of the eye itself must be located exactly in the center. Otherwise, when rotating, the eyes will top in and out of the sockets. After alignment, switch to Bone Edit mode and carefully adjust the length of the bone. Next, clone the bone for the right eye. Align it to the geometry of the second eye in the exact same way using Shift-A. Create a point and align it to the position and orientation of the bone using Alt-A. This object has two important roles. First, linking the bone to this point resets its local coordinates, which is essential for the future eyelid rig. Second, it will serve as an Upnode object when configuring the LookAt constraint. Create another point and immediately align it to the bone using Alt-A and then increase its size. This is the master controller for the eye and future eyelids. It will allow you to scale the eye independent of the head's squash and stretch. I picked up this trick from Maya colleagues, a great tool for our arsenal. Now, link the eye bone drivers to their master controllers. Then link the master controllers to the head's squash and stretch point. After that, of course, press Control page down to select the entire hierarchy and apply Freeze Transform to reset the coordinates. Link the eyes themselves to their respective bones and test how they sync with the head's squash and stretch. As you can see, the eyes squash and stretch perfectly in sync with the head. At the same time, they stay in place and don't glitch through the geometry. We got a great result. Now, let's create the controllers for the LookAt direction. A simple circle will do just fine here. Create a spline and align it to the eye using Shift-A. My character's right eye turned out to be slightly rotated. The easiest way is to delete the faulty geometry, clone the correct left eye, and mirror it to the right side again. Move the controller away from the eye to find the right distance. In my experience, you shouldn't place it too far as it makes animating the LookAt a bit more difficult. Clone the controller, and in the global coordinate system, simply put a minus sign before the X value in the transform input field. Now, these controllers need a main master controller. The shape of the object doesn't matter. I'll make it an arrow, but you can choose any shape you like. First, align the master controller with one of the circles using Shift-A, and then type 0 in the X-axis field. This puts the arrow exactly in the middle between the controllers. After scaling the controller, select all three objects and reset their transforms using the Reset XForm utility. This returns their scale to the original 100% and clears any extra coordinates. Now, link the eye controllers to their master controller, and link the master controller to the head's squash and stretch point. After that, of course, apply freeze transform and test it. As you can see, everything works as a single piece and the LookAt stays in place. You might think these controllers don't need to be linked to the squash and stretch system, but if you don't do this, the LookAt would constantly shift whenever the head deforms. Everything is ready for the LookAt constraint, but before that, let's temporarily clone the point driver, move it slightly to the side along the bone's axis, and link it to the bone. Now, apply a LookAt constraint to the bone and select its LookAt controller as the target. Right after this, you'll notice that the temporary point has shifted. This means the bone has rotated around its own axis, and consequently, the eye rotated too. To return it to its original position, select the LookAt method in the Upnode control rollout. Then, in the Select Upnode field, click on that very first point we created at the base of the bone. After that, we can see that the point is back in its original place. Of course, you could just check the Keep Initial Offset box, but I prefer setting up the correct settings from the start. Thanks to this, you won't have any issues with the eyelid rigging down the road. Let's test our rig for squash and stretch once more. As you can see, if you squash the head and move the LookAt controller, the eye rotates perfectly towards the target. At the same time, it stays in place without clipping through the head geometry. And finally, let's make a toggle to choose whether the eyes follow the head or stay in place. This is super convenient, and animators will definitely love it. Create a point and align it to the head bone's position and orientation using Alt-A. This point driver will handle following the head. Clone it, rename Head to World in the name, and increase its size so you don't get confused. This point, as you guessed, will be responsible for staying in place. Now, link the head point driver to the head bone and link the world driver to the global controller. After that, make sure to apply Freeze Transform. Make it a rule, always apply Freeze Transform after linking or opening groups. Otherwise, you'll get bugs in your rigging and you'll struggle to find the cause. I've been there, done that. Now, create a group for the master controller and open it. Align the pivot of this group to the head bone using Alt-A for both position and orientation. After that, make sure to select the controller and this group and apply Freeze Transform. Next, select the group and apply a position constraint to it. Assign the head point driver as the first target and then the world one. Then apply an orientation constraint and do exactly the same thing. Now we just need to create the switch itself. Select the Master LookAt controller and apply the Attribute Holder modifier. Press Alt-1 to open the parameter editor and configure it. We've done this many times before for the IK-FK rig, so I won't bore you with the details. Now, let's link the controller to its group using wire parameters. Select the controller as the source and find the follow head parameter in its attributes. Then select the group's position constraint as the target. For weight 0, set a direct connection, and for weight 1, add 1- at the beginning of the expression. So it's exactly the same thing we did for the IK-FK rig. Scroll down, find the orientation constraint in the list, and do exactly the same thing. Now let's test it. Select the head controller and rotate it. As you can see, the LookAt stays in place because our switch is currently turned off. But once we flip the switch, the LookAt controller follows the head. Dynamic rigging is absolutely awesome. Why is this so important? Imagine a scene where your character is running and looking around. In follow mode, the animator won't have to manually move the LookAt controller with every tilt of the body. Everything happens automatically. But if the character needs to focus on a single point, like looking through a scope or at a speaker, it's just one click to switch modes and the head moves freely while the eyes stay locked onto the target. This flexible approach saves hours of animation time. That's all for today. If anything was unclear, feel free to ask your questions in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In the next tutorial, we'll tackle eyelid rigging. See you in the next video. Bye!